So, good day, ma'am. Good day, classmates. So, we are here to report our topic about innovative strategies for teaching and learning Gmrc. So, strategies are important tools that facilitate learning. As individual, we need to have any strategies in life to solve any problems. That's why it's important having strategies. Strategies involve creativity so that educators can look at things in a different light, to think outside the box and to change paradigm. And the box here is about problems. To think outside, to think a different light. So to think any different solution to solve the problem, which is the box, and to change the paradigm, to change the situation where you already solved the problem. So more than anything, teaching strategies call for flexibility and creativity for that all strategies bring out the different results. So here in strategy, there are here creativity and flexibility of a person to do any strategies in any situations. So now here are the major approaches and strategies for values development. Number one is inculcation. So this approach is about directly teaching the students about the specific values that they need to learn. So for example of this is when a teacher discuss in front of their students about the topic about how to respect each other. So in that way, they directly teach the students how they need to show a respect, how they need to give values of one another. The number two is moral development. So moral development, this approach is based on the idea that moral understanding involves through stages. So for example, this is when a teacher might give a scenario to their students where there are lost wallet, then they ask their students whether they report it or not. So in this scenario, the students use their moral development, use their analysis, so to what to do in that scenario if they report it or not. So in that situation, the teacher conclude that they need to do the things that right, which is to return it, and it called the moral development. Then number three is clarification. So this approach encourages students to identify, clarify, and express their own values. So for example, this is a teacher might ask students to write an essay of what they experience in their life, what they experience and what they do in a specific situation in their life where they encounter any problems. Is there any values they do, or is there any strategies to do in that situation? So in that scenario, the student may clarify, analyze the things of what they experience in their life. The number four is analysis. So this approach involves critically examining different values and their implications. So for example, a teacher might facilitate a debate on a controversial issue like capital punishment and ask students to analyze the different values at play. So yes, what I said in that example, the teacher might give a debate of the students, and that students analyze the different values to play in that debate. So that's why it's called analysis. The number five is action learning. So this approach is about in the word action. So it begins thinking and solving and involves learning through action. So here the students here already learn in a values through an action. So for example of this is a teacher might organize a community service project. So here the students might involve mo appeal or mo join the service project, and in this situation the students here might learn through their action. Then number six is transpersonal approach. This approach involves exploring values and behaviors that transcend the individual self and relate to a higher spiritual and universal level. So for example, is a teacher might incorporate mindfulness or meditation practice. So in this transpersonal approach, the example here is when a teacher give meditation, or they allow students to do meditation like close their eyes in a classroom in a few minutes, then think about their values, to meditate their mind, to think different values, the behaviors that they need to do in a good way. So those are the six major approaches and strategies for values development. So now we're moving forward of the examples of each values clarification. So here are the values clarification strategy and their examples. So number one is values voting. So here, values voting is about the value of what do you value in voting. Like for example, it is okay to lie if it doesn't hurt anyone. So here, the students here need to vote yes or no. So they need to discuss their choices why they yes in that statement or no, and that's what it's called values voting. Because the students here need to vote whether yes or no in the statement. So number 2 is values ranking. So values ranking is about the how a students rank in the different choices. For example, students are given a list of values like kindness, honesty, and courage. So the teacher here is asked the students to rank the 3 of them in order of what they think the most important. So in here, in values ranking, the student here rank which they think is the most important values. The number 3 is the forced choices. Students here make a difficult choice because they need to choose in a forced way. Like, for example, if you could only save one, would you save a book of all humans' knowledge or a single human life? So their question, so the students here need to choose whether the one or the second choices they need to choose, and that's why it's called forced choices, because they need to choose whether what is the right one. And in this forced choices, the students here is even if they not even if they difficult to choose, they need to choose. That's why it's forced choices. So number 4 is values continuum. So what is continuum? Continuum, it is something that changes in the character gradually or in very slight stages without any clear dividing points. So for example of this is the classroom. Is in the classroom, a statement is presented and a line is drawn on the board. So one end represent strongly agree and strongly disagree. Student place themselves along the line based on their agreement with the statement. So here, as what I said in the example, is the student here decided whether they strongly agree or strongly disagree to just by the line. So if they strongly disagree, they need to go to other line, which is have a strongly agree, and the second line is the strongly disagree. So number 5 is strongly agree or strongly disagree. So it's similar to the number 4, which is values continuum, because here the students here need to choose whether strongly disagree, agree, disagree, or strongly disagree. But here students are given cards, so it's different. There's a lot different from values continuum because here we're using cards, while in values continuum, it's just a line where students put themselves in a line. So number 6 is value whips. So here in value whips, students stand in a circle and one by one quickly state whether they agree or disagree on a value-laden statement. So here the student here in a circle, then they are but one by one asked by their teachers if they would agree or disagree in the statement of their teacher given. Then number 7 is unfinished sentences. So here the students need to complete the statement of their teacher. Like if the teacher said, "I feel happy when," or just this means, then that statement the students need to complete it. Like I feel happy when I have candy, like that. So the students here need to analyze or need to think what's their need to what are the sentences need to complete those statements of their teacher. And number 8 is autobiography questionnaires. So students fill out questionnaires about their life experiences and how those experiences have shaped their values. So autobiography questionnaires, the students here need to fill out those questionnaires about their life experiences, about the what is the experiences they have shaped in their life with values that shape in. Then number 9 is pictures without caption or freedom board. So in this pictures without caption and freedom board, the students here are shown a picture without any caption. That the students here need to give what they or need to discuss about the values they are see in the picture. So they need to discuss in front of their classmate of their teachers what is they see in the picture, what the value are there in the picture. Then last is the coded papers. So, coded paper, students given a paper with coded statements like A equals, I believe in the following rules, or B, I value individual freedom over rules. So, and in that statement, students mark the goals that align with their values, then discuss. So, coded paper, so it's like they choose whether A or B, then A and B is a coded, so they choose A and B. Then in that coded, there are statements. Then the students need, if the students choose the first statement, so they mark the holes that align with their values. With then the student here then discuss why they choose that coded papers. So that's all. These all strategies, clarification. These all the values clarification strategies. So these all strategies can help students explore and articulate their values in safe, structured way. They can also foster empathy and understanding by showing students the diversity of values among their peers. So that's all of my part. The next is Miss Desiree. She continue our topic.
Good day, ma'am. Good day, classmate. So our next topic is all about the ACES methodology and basis of bio-learning. The ACES teaching approach employs both inductive as well as deductive methods in the conduct of the lessons, although the former is given more emphasis since certain principles and conditions of learning that activate learner and make learning personal and meaningful are easier achieved through the inductive method. The uniquely personal and subjective nature of learning is best attained through having the learner undergo the experiences by himself and also with others in the group. The ACES teaching approach is based on a confluent theory of education. The theory provides for the flowing together and interaction of affective and cognitive elements is in individual and group learning. Example is introducing a new scientific concept to the student to making them aware of its existence and basic principle. This learning approach is commonly called andragogy or the experiential learning approach. Generally, the experiential learning process develops through 4 stages, which is activity, analysis, abstraction, and application, and follows 4 basis of volume learning. Andragogy is important because it tailors educational approaches to the unique characteristic of adults based promoting effective, relevant, and engaging learning experiences. Affective refers to the feeling or emotional aspect of experiences and learning, while cognitive refers to the activity of the mind towards knowing an object. It is intellectual functioning in the full grasp of the learning. So, next is we are going to talk about the learning trigger phase. Learning is triggered by carefully planned activities such as individual disclosure or self-inventory, group discussion, case study, listening to vignette, and role-playing. In general sense, learning triggers can be event or stimuli that prompts individuals to start or intensify their learning efforts. These triggers can take various forms such as encountering a problem that requires new knowledge, having a specific goals in mind, or being exposed to information that sparks curiosity. These are structured learning activities or experiences from which learning both cognitive and affective will spring. Strategies used here are mostly values, clarification, voice analysis, and moral dilemma strategies. In this phase, the student starts to clarify or understand his feelings, ideas, or thoughts about specific situation contains in this activity. Examples: your personal development goals, setting personal development goals, whether related to career advancement or personal growth, initiate a learner phase as individuals seek opportunities to acquire the necessary knowledge and skills. And the next is values clarification phase. It's a process of exploring understanding one's goals beliefs, and principles. During this phase, individuals reflect on their priorities, identify what matters most to them, and gain clarity of their values. It offers impose self-discovery through introspection and thoughtful consideration of various aspects of life, such as relationships, career, personal development, and community involvement. This exploration helps individuals make decisions aligned with their values, leading to a more authentic and fulfilling life. Analysis of the learning process has two phases: affective process and cognitive or content processing. That involves first reflection and insights, personal, which becomes part of the learner's affective development, while cognitive analysis of the experiences is done through eliciting information and studying the content and concepts relevant to the lesson. Example: how important is having independence and making decisions on your own in your career? And then the third phase is directed phase or inculcation phase. Typically comes after the values clarification phase and involves translating identified values into concrete action or decision. During this phase, individuals focus on aligning their behaviors and choices with their clarified values. In this phase, the teacher becomes directed in his leading questions, and at this point in his lesson, he or she should already have highlighted the value focus on the lessons that would expect the student to uphold. In reinforcement, the students construct system by an abstraction. Cognitive development is further reinforced in the abstraction phase, where generalization or inferences are made about experiences. It's phase that facilitator enriches the learning, which were processed in an analysis phase through cognitive and affective input. Example: for instance, a teacher providing step-by-step instructions on solving math problem, and the last phase of learning is action phase practical. This term refers to the stage where individuals apply the knowledge or skills they have acquired. For instance, in a hands-on workshop, after learners have received instruction directed phase, the action phase involves them actively engaging in activities related to the lesson. Putting theory into practice, it is the practical execution or implementation of the following initial learning. Application is done where the learner is expected to transfer his affective and cognitive learning. Two auxiliary but significant activities are the mode setting and closing activities. The mode setting interfaces methodology is not just setting and closing activities. The mini activity related to the content of the lesson. Its purpose is to create conducive psychological climate for learning. It's a psychological personal activity to free the students from tension, fears, or passivity. It helps create an atmosphere of comfortability of one another. And then next, we go talking about the model of the following process in the context of the teaching and learning cycle. Since our emphasis for values education is one of holistic and integrated approach, all human facilities of the learners must be taught and developed in this light. The four-step teaching and learning cycle proposed by Guisihan is the most appropriate both as reference and model. We have the first step. Step 1. Cognitive level or knowing. Following does not exist in a vacuum. It has to have knowledge base from which values will be explored and discerned. This level basically introduces specific values that are to be the subject area to look to and examine. How these values affect the selves and others, our behavior at work. Our work ethic, our lifestyle are suggested for the learners to consider. Knowing, however, is only within the parameters, facts, and concepts. This lever should therefore move into second step. So the second step is conceptual level or understanding. In the purpose cycle, distinction is made between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge without understanding may lead to insult, but knowledge with understanding leads both to insight. This is why the conceptual level is divided as two separate steps. Knowledge could be easily explained by the educator, and in turn quickly memorized by the learners. For the learners, however, to understand and thereby gain insight requires wisdom. And then the third step is affective level. It is all about valuing. As discussed in previous sections, knowing and understanding are not guarantees that values would be internalized and integrated. The third step therefore ensures that the value concepts are filtered through one's experiences and reflections and are eventually affirmed in the affective dimension. In short, this concept will flow through the three processes: chosen, prized, and acted upon. Since teaching and learning is conducted on a group level, the additional benefits of this step is the appreciation, acceptance, and respect of both one's own value system and those of others. And then the last step is active level. It's all about acting. The value concepts that the value and ultimately lead to action, whether the action is expressed in improved communication skills, better decision making, greater teamwork, non-violent conflict resolution, and etc. The value area therefore challenge to see through the spontaneous concepts find their way into our behaviors. The learner's behavioral manifestation. Sometimes this is automatic, other times it involves further skills enhancement in a particular area. The teaching and learning cycles is crucial in education as it forms a systematic approach to instruction, design, and student development. It begins with clear learning objectives, ensuring that educators have a real defined target for their teaching. And then assessment. Assessment is a vital component allowing both educators and students to gauge progress and identify areas for improvement. Feedback from assessment informs future teaching strategies and helps students to refine their understanding. Reflection, the final stage, encourages educators to evaluate the effectiveness of their teaching methods and adjust future plans accordingly. And that's all for today.